attention today, or are you not? Because like if you don't want to pay attention, totally fine. I'm just going to ask you to leave. I'm done. So what's your preference? You going to stay? Sure. Okay. Let's not throw food, because if she doesn't catch it in her mouth, it ends up on the floor, and then somebody steps on it, and that's a mess. And I don't want that in the classroom. So our translation, remember, is a shift or a slide, right? So we're moving forward, backward, up, or down. This is an example of how you show the algebraic expression of it. If you start out on your pre-image with x, y, if we're adding to x, that's going to mean right 2. If I was subtracting, that would be left 2. Whatever I do to the y value tells me either to go up if it's positive or down if it's negative. Reflections, we reflect over the axis. Remember, if we start out here and we're reflecting over the x-axis, x stays the same, y is the opposite. If I'm reflecting over the y-axis, x is the opposite, y stays the same. Remember, this negative sign just means opposite of. For all the rotations, we have every single one. You start out with x, y, and then what do you do with those to make the image coordinate? And then for dilations, of course, we are either increasing the size, where you multiply by a value greater than 1, or decreasing the size, where you would be multiplying by a fraction. Okay? And for this situation, if I had an ordered pair and I was using a scale factor of 2, well, I would multiply the x value by 2 and the y value by 2 to get my new x or y value. So this is going to be a really important sheet for you guys to hold on to. That's why it's pink, right? So hopefully you don't lose it. So what we're going to do, this activity, is we're going to take these 4 road signs, right? Yield, stop, one way, and this is a like merging sign, okay, or an exit sign. Depends on which way you're looking at it. And we're going to move them to a different location on that coordinate plane based on what they tell us to do, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to label our coordinates. Right? Because it's going to talk about the sign in quadrant 3. Well, if you don't know which quadrant is 3, then you don't know which sign they're talking about.
Why can't we just put like the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4?
So the reason they use Roman numerals is so that you don't get confused with the axis labels, right? So you don't have like a random 1, 2, 3, and 4 around there. The Roman numerals are so you can tell that that's actually the quadrant number. I didn't make that rule. I don't know who made the rule.
Good at writing these.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to start out with our pre-image. So we look here at quadrant 3, and we have this a rectangle with an arrow inside. So they want us to translate it to the right 10 and down 2. So if my ordered pair starts out as x, y, what will I do to each x value? I'm going to the right 10. Mia, you don't need your iPad open right now. Thanks. Go ahead and close it. Like, close it so I know you're not. Thank you. Okay. So what will I do to each x value if I'm shifting it to the right 10?
What was the question?
If I'm moving this to the right 10, what will I do to each x value to represent that? So you guys can look at that pink piece of paper for ideas. I'm sorry? Plus 10. So it's going to be x plus 10. And then if I'm shifting it down 2 units, what will I do to each y value? Minus 2. So this is going to be what I'm going to do to each value. So what I first need to do is write down all of the pre-image coordinates. So I'm going to start with this top right corner. I'm going to say, okay, well that's -1, -1. Then I'm going to work my way clockwise around the image. So then I have -1, -7, -9, -7, and -9, -1. And I'm going to draw a squiggle here so I know that that's the end of the first part of the image, so I don't then try to connect those points to the arrow. So then if this is the transformation I'm going to do, what would this ordered pair for my image turn into?
1, 1.
I'm going to add 10 to the x and subtract 2 from the y.
So 9 and -3.
Yep. How about the next ordered pair?
9.
And that's going to be 1, -9, and then 1, -3. So then I would go to my coordinate plane, and I can plot those 4 points and connect them. So go ahead and do that. Go to your coordinate plane, plot those 4 points that are going to represent the outside of that directional sign. So you're going to plot the image. We already know where the pre-image is. We're plotting the new image. Okay, so you should have a rectangle. What quadrant is our rectangle in now?
4.
It's in quadrant 4, right? So now we'll go ahead and do the same thing for the arrow ordered pairs. And I'm going to start here at the point of the arrow and work my way around so I don't miss anything. And then that way it'll be easy when I connect them. So my first ordered pair for that point is -2, -4. So I now have all the points from the arrow. I worked my way around clockwise. And I'm going to do the exact same thing I did for the rectangle on the outside. I'm going to apply my algebraic representation. I'm going to add 10 to each x and subtract 2 from each y to get my new ordered pairs. So go ahead and do that. Find your new ordered pairs for the arrow. And then you're going to want to check your work before you plot it, just to make sure you're on the right track. check your ordered pairs. Remember, you're adding 10 to each x, subtracting 2 from each y. And if they match up, then go ahead and plot them. Okay, let's take a look at what it should be. Everybody have their directional sign, quadrant 4. Yeah? Okay, let's move on to another one. We're going to actually move on to, let's see here, I think it is, let's see, number 3. Let's take a look at number 3. So we're talking about the road sign in quadrant 1. This is asking us to do 2 transformations, okay? So we're going to be talking about, like that quadrant 1 has the yield sign, the 2 upside down triangles. Everybody find that on their paper? Right? So we're talking about this one right here, okay? And they want us to first rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise and then reflect it over the x-axis. So we're going to have to do 2 things. This is the only one that we actually plot, okay? So we're going to first rotate it, then we're going to take these ordered pairs, and we're going to do what we would for a reflection, and then this is what we're going to actually put on our grid, okay? So if we want to do a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation, what is the algebraic representation for that? So you're going to look at your pink paper, and you're going to look for 90 degrees counterclockwise. What does that look like?
Negative x.
So we're going to do y negative x. Are you sure for 90 degree counterclockwise?
It's negative y. It's negative y x.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. No, instead. Accent.
Okay.
I started to say that, and they got me all messed up. Well, it wasn't negative.
Okay. So then after I've done this algebraic transformation, I'm going to reflect over the x-axis. So who can tell me what will that look like? Once I have these ordered pairs, what will I do to them to get to this final image values?
Over what?
The x-axis.
X, Y,
X negative
Y.
X opposite y, right? X-axis stays the same. If I'm flipping over the x-axis, x stays the same. So let's go ahead and write down the ordered pairs for that pre-image. So I'm going to zoom in up here on the board so that you don't have to keep flipping your paper back and forth. Okay. Hannah, do you need me to hold on to your phone? Okay. Right, so I put this up here for you to look at so you can just, so right now you're writing down the ordered pairs for our pre-image.
Does it matter?
I always start top right and work my way around. So I'm going to do that for both of them. Right?
Wait, is the top right? Top right is like one closest to the schedule. Is it 4 and 8? Is that the first one?
It's going to be 9, 9.
What? 9. I'm so confused too.
Okay. Nope, shouldn't be super confusing.
It's the one closest.
So
to the
top right is going to be this
we're on
point.
that one. I think we're on that one. Okay, now it makes sense.
So I'm going to do this point, and then down here, and then this one, and then I'm going to draw a squiggle, and then I'm going to do this one, and this one. So again, here is the image, so you don't have the pre-image, so you don't have to keep flipping your paper back and forth.
Is it only 3?
There are 6 points.
Oh, we're doing okay.
Do you do the first translation? Do you go
Maggie, it literally says
that translation, or did you create it for the second one?
No, you go off now the middle column for the reflection. Yep. Rachel? Oh, I can't really get to that right now because I'm making a video. So let me see it really quick. If I can do something. Improve. Oh, turn away. Close your eyes.
Are we just doing that?
Okay.
Just do all of it or just the pre-image?
Just do the pre-image.
Do I take my iPad with me?
No.
Do we need to plot it?
Nope, you're not plotting anything yet. So this is what you should have for your pre-image ordered pairs,
The other one
right? Okay. So here's what's happening. I'm explaining everything, and you guys are kind of half listening to me.
Wait, I'm listening. 5 tile. Wait, did you go the other way? Did you go down and not? I went across.
I did clockwise around,
Oh.
yep, around the triangle. So even if you don't have them in the right order as mine, these should be your pre-image ordered pairs.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
I see that one.
And then now what you're going to do is use this opposite y-x to make the middle column, but you're not going to plot that. We're going to plot the third column. We're doing 2 transformations. So now you're going to take these, and you're going to do opposite y-x to get the middle column of values. Right? So what will the first one be if it's opposite y-x?
Negative 9.
It's going to be negative 9, 9. Because this is the opposite, and then x stays the same. So then for 5, 2, it's going to be negative 2, 5.
Negative 2.
Opposite y-x will be negative 2, 5. So go ahead and come up with those new ordered pairs. And then we will discuss how to do the third column, and that's what you will actually plot. So the second column should look like this. So then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to reflect it over the x-axis. So you're going to take this middle column and you're going to leave x alone and then make y the opposite value to get that third column of ordered pairs. And that third column is what you will then plot on the coordinate plane. So you're going to take these coordinates and now you're going to apply this algebraic representation.
So basically you're just flipping them.
We're not flipping them.
Oh.
We're keeping x the way it is and y is going to become the opposite. X opposite y. And that's going to give us our next.
So is it going to be -9, -9?
It is.
Oh.
It's not confusing. Now,
-9, -9.
so now this is my pre-image ordered pairs.
You get it.
Then it's negative
Margaret,
4,
shush.
-5,
Shush your pie hole.
negative 8, negative
Maggie, do that thing. Do that. Do that. Do that. Do that. This. You don't sound like a villager. You're a sassy one.
So your third column should look like this.
I'm really good at it. No,
Okay, so once you have those 6 new points, go ahead and plot them on the coordinate plane. Now remember we rotated and then reflected. So the triangle is going to be going in a different direction.
We do it on this.
The third column.
We do it on this one, right? Or do we do it on the back?
Okay, you guys should be doing it on the blank. I gave you a blank. Didn't you have a third blank?
No.
Like this. I did.
Yes, like this, but I already have everything on.
Was that why I had an extra?
Maybe.
I thought there was only 2 papers.
I had an extra.
I'm not trying, guys. I don't want to start and get like sassy with you, but I very specifically at the beginning said, do you have all 3 pages?
No, she has it. I have it.
Other people don't. That's what I'm saying. Like I was very specific. You have the pink paper, the blank grid paper, the other one. Okay? I need you guys. You can't just check out. We have like 5 weeks left. You can't check out yet.
4 weeks. I looked it up today.
Yeah,
I looked it up.
You guys,
Look, I actually countdown. Let's see how many days
we have
done. Terrifying.
thank you. We have 5 more weeks of school. You guys are here till
29 days, 11 hours.
you guys are here till Thursday the 2nd. That is basically 5 more
Why
weeks
the
of
second?
school.
Why the
It's
second?
not.
That's your last day.
Why the
Yeah,
second?
why the second?
Why the first?
I don't make these decisions. I don't think you guys understand. Like, I come to school, I teach math. They don't ask me about the calendar.
Do you know why they just go to Friday?
Again, I don't make these decisions. I just come to school and I teach math. They tell me when to show up, and they tell me when you guys are going to be done. Yes.
If it's on the y-axis distinctive, do you think it's positive? It's already negative.
There shouldn't be any. What?
Smart.
We're not there yet. And no, nothing should be on the axis.
Miss Mark, did you know that I can do up tempo voice?
I did not, but we're going to move on with this activity. Okay? Okay. So then, when you you're done plotting those points, it should look like, give me a second, this.
Oh, that's what mine looks like.
This is where it should be.
Oh yeah.
See, so I get it now. No, I don't. Plotting is easy though. Is there gonna be a test yesterday?
We are going to have an assessment over this. That's why we're practicing. We're applying everything. I gave you a cheat sheet.
Are we done now? We have
Okay,
3 minutes.
we are going to stop right there. We'll continue this tomorrow.